changed. So what we now know happened is that the Vikings came over to this part of the world more than 1,000 years ago, and at that time we had one of the biggest populations in England due to our thriving wool and spinning trade, and all of these people needed a lot of fuel. The only fuel they had about was wood, and they chopped a lot of the trees down, so we're a little bit stuck really. Bit of a fuel crisis, so not unlike what's happening at the moment really. It cost me 75 quid to fill my car up yesterday. So not a lot changes really, but the Vikings, they had the solution for us, and that is that they taught us about peat digging. Now peat is this sort of plant matter that gets compressed and preserved in boggy areas, and you dig out little blocks called turfs, dry it and burn it as a fuel for heating and cooking. And over hundreds of years, vast amounts of this peat were dug out by nothing more than medieval people with a spade. But by the end of the 14th century, things were changing. That's because medieval times were much colder than they are right now. And as the climate warmed up more towards how it is today, so the sea levels began to rise, and that pushed up the freshwater river levels, flooding these old peat diggings and creating this magical waterland that we've got today. And it also helps to explain the topography of the area, because while the rivers are reasonably deep, they're usually about 10 or 12 foot deep, they're naturally formed tidal rivers. They're freshwater, but they go up and down twice a day because they flow into the sea. The Broads, however, are formed differently. As you know, they were only ever dug out by hand, and then they've been silting up for hundreds and hundreds of years, so they're very much shallower than the rivers. So this Broad is about 4 foot deep, but most Broads are even shallower than that, sometimes just a couple of feet deep. And that's why all of our Broads boats, especially this one, and also to some extent the Queen of the Broads, is very shallow bottomed underneath. We don't have a deep keel, because if we did, then we'd just keep getting stuck in the mud. And talk of the boats, over on the right we've got the Norfolk Broads Yacht Club. They've been a sailing club here ever since the 1930s, and they race here every weekend and also hold some major open regattas, the biggest of which is called Wroxham Week in the last week of July, when hundreds of boats descend on the Broad for a wonderful 10 days of racing. Has its history going all the way back to the 1880s, when you used to call it the Wroxham Water Frolic, which I think is a fabulous name of frolic, isn't it? Not used nearly enough these days.
So it's not deep, because people have digged it. And after that it was flooded. So they took the pit from the river